what made Prodigy so special? And when I think back to when I was listening to Mobb Deep heavily, it was just that element of realness, just that element of like it sounded almost like he was speaking to you. There were certain times where he wasn't even rhyming lyrics. It was just like straight off of it's like it's just straight from his mind and just very authentic and grounded in the present. Um, there was something about his music that I feel like, although it was timeless and you could listen back to it now 25, 30 years later and it still give you a feeling and still not and still feel like it was rooted in the now. At the same time, his lyrics, like this man said in Shook Ones, rock you in your face, stab your brain with your nose bone, right? Now, when you hear that type of lyric, it's so descriptive, but it's like you've taken it too far. Like, bro, like, did you have to say stab your brain with your nose bone? But that's the type of thing that Prodigy would say. If we're talking about on hell on earth, my empire strikes with the strength of poisonous snakes. The one before me was of an even more trife. So he's telling like a story of his family tree and how he's came from a certain lineage, and it's presented him a certain way, which may potentially present his future kids in a certain way. But he's giving him the game early of how you can navigate. You know what I mean? And it's like that's the type of introspection and the type of lyric that Prodigy could put forward, despite it being still so grimy and still so rooted in if I could say struggle or in pain. Pain, I think, is the right word. Rooted in pain. And I feel like when it came to hip hop, like the demonstration of pain, I don't feel like many people were able to touch Prodigy when it came to that, because we knew obviously he was suffering from sickle cell. So there was an element of physical pain that he would have consistently have been in, that when he now tried to transmute that and put that to words, you just automatically felt that, especially now when it's based on the backdrop of Havoc's production, or even later on Alchemist production. It was just this energy that you just couldn't like. It's just it's hard to explain. It was just an energy that was just too powerful. And as I say, Prodigy was someone who